Hello everyone, you're here with H, and today the H stands for holy smokes. I might need to sniff a line of that stuff if I'm gonna get through this video. It's long AF and I've never heard that in the bedroom. Why is my stinger? That's not what you call them. Why is my finger still in this? I'm ready to sniff another line. That's what I'm doing. Thank you to Mildred and to Channel 3 for the suggestion. And before we get right into it, the Cocaine Buttons is the original name of this video. So, you know, if you buy a laptop that has that, get that looked at before the police come looking for you.
CTV's W5.
Listen, that voice is the stereotypical voice that I go to whenever I start doing like advert type skits. CTV presents W5. We're today going to look at a cocaine smuggler who thinks she's in love. That guy's throat is effed.
One thing my dad never did was prepare her to be on her own.
Cocaine
A
smuggler?
lonely widow looking for new love.
She was just really loving the attention and the affection that she
So
was
she becomes
getting
a
from
cocaine
these
smuggler.
guys.
I told her they were all scammers.
But her search for
But you became a
romance
cocaine smuggler.
becomes a fight for freedom.
We've seen too many victims.
She's looking at serious jail time.
This is just a really, really bad dream.
It's not though, because that would mean they're making a documentary about a dream, and that's weird. I can't already, we're 30 seconds into the video, I can't understand how victims, one, fall for these crazy romance scams. It's one thing on a more grounded level, sure, I can understand you fell for it, you're lonely, and, not the crazy ones, you know what I mean? How have we got to you being a cocaine smuggler? I don't know. I really don't.
I'm never gonna see my mom again.
Why is she holding the phone like that? Typical mum, innit? Shout out all the
Here
mums.
is Avery Haynes.
Welcome to a special edition of W5 from Hong Kong. This vibrant city is a beacon for travelers. They come here for the lively outdoor markets, the breathtaking views from the harbor, as well as the high-end shopping.
Versace.
But this is the story of a Canadian tourist who didn't see any of this.
Oh, my Canadian. Oh, Canada. This is why South Park makes fun of you.
She's a grandmother from a small city in Ontario whose desperate search for love and adventure has ended in a Hong Kong jail where she's
Adventure?
facing more than 2 decades behind bars.
Oh my God, almost the same age as me. Someone explained to me. Sorry about that. I'm hitting puberty for the first time. Or the cocaine's gone down the wrong hole. Someone explained to me how adventure has descended into you becoming a drug smuggler. Can someone explain to me how that happens? Because if that's the kind of adventure that we were used to, Dora the Explorer would be a very different show. Alright? The monkey's coming out the backpack or wherever the hell he is. I mean, first of all, you could argue Dora is on cocaine because she's talking to her backpack and a monkey. So actually, forget I said that. She is on drugs. This is so dramatic, honestly.
Angela Thayer hates to fly.
Same.
Yet here she is, 10,000 meters above the Pacific Ocean.
Sorry. First of all, I kind of really, actually, not kind of, I really don't like American shows and how dramatized they are. Music is one thing, but when you're doing it and creating this oh so dramatic effect, I don't like it, all right? I prefer, a good example is Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. Compare the American version with the British version. It's like night and day, do you know what I mean? Anyway, I also don't like flying, but But that's besides the point. How in God's name are we sat here doing up B-roll of her, doing up Tinder with the plain seat screen? This is so weird to me.
Traveling halfway around the world to Hong Kong.
Do they get permission to film? I'm assuming so.
It's a trip she never imagined having to make.
Yeah, get your mum from prison. In a different country, no less. Oh my God, she flew across the world to do this, by the way. Not even just selling drugs in your local city, right? If that's what it's come to. You've flown across the world. That's crazy to me.
And I've never been to Asia before.
Just do the B-roll, please. Come on. We know you're here for a sad reason, but come on.
That one back there? 40?
It's just an amazing culture.
Haggle.
And
Thank you.
Haggle.
the people are so friendly.
Sorry. How did we get the camera to be behind the woman running the stall? Oh my goodness. We've got spy cameras.
Being able to experience something that I never thought I would
What is
experience.
That octopus is
I wish my mom was walking this with me.
Oh, she was walking somewhere. Arse full of drugs.
Angela is a reluctant tourist. She's 12,000 kilometers from her home in Barrie, Ontario.
Is she gonna look
She's
anywhere
here
else?
because her mother, Suzanne, is living here, against her will.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's not take the piss here. Against her will. It was her will. She chose to smuggle drugs. Like, as much as people want to say that scammers are manipulative, sorry, I don't understand how you've been manipulated into selling drugs for your lover. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to make the presumption that you're not living in such a difficult financial situation, but actually, that would be wrong of me to just presume. So, we'll carry on. Editing H here. For everyone who knows of this story and is probably typing out right now, not to spoil anything, of course, but if you're typing out something that I know by the end of the documentary, please forgive me. It's a blind reaction, all right? I don't wear glasses for no reason, okay? I can't see shit. So forgive me. I obviously learn more as it goes on, so just letting you know. Bye.
I don't know when the next time I will actually be able to see her again. Because she's in prison for smuggling drugs into Hong Kong.
They just told her, sit there and just...
Angela's mother is 64-year-old Suzanne Thayer, a mother of 3, grandmother of 6.
She's never had a speeding ticket. She lived a sheltered, safe life and
So, yeah, I'm confused.
never gotten into anything that's illegal.
Except drugs.
A sheltered, safe life, one that was totally dependent on her husband, whom she met when she was just 13 and married 5 years later.
Your mom never had another boyfriend other than your dad?
No, that was the only man my mom's ever been with. He really shielded her from the world, not in a bad way, but it's just, he was a police officer, so he really seen all the stuff.
Their marriage lasted a lifetime, at least for Jim. When he died in 2016, Susanna lost her provider, her protector.
One thing my dad never did was prepare her to be on her own and how to look after and protect herself.
Look, don't get me wrong. It's obviously a very traumatic experience to go to, losing. Go to? I don't think anyone wants to go there, but go through. Losing your lifetime partner, I hope to never be in that position, but I can understand the great deal of heartbreak you'd go through. But, when they say he didn't prepare her for living life or protecting herself or whatever, do you seriously need to be told to not smuggle drugs? Like, I understand. You know, her, going through this and needing someone to lean on in the romantic sense. But where are we drawing the line? This is why I don't like to baby these people. Because we're going to start excusing murder then, huh? Where are we drawing the line here, bro?
5 years passed and the grief faded. Susanna was ready to find love again, and so she went online.
And initially, were you thinking, this is great, my mom's gonna have a second chance at love?
And that's what I was thinking, because I know there's some guys you can find online that are going to be decent. She would kind of get like that, just all like giddy and schoolgirl, and she was just really loving the attention and the affection that she was getting, from these guys.
Susanna's family gave us permission to look through her emails and texts.
Hey, babe. Hope everything is well with you.
Hello, Susie. How you doing?
Sweetheart.
Sorry.
Why the silence?
Is that Joey? How you doing? You had your catch right there, Susie.
We need to be together.
Cringe.
One man stood out. He called himself Walter Williams, said he was a military doctor, in fact, a
Crazy.
neurosurgeon.
Oh.
He worked for the United Nations on a mission in Syria. Just like Susanna, he said he was 63 and a widower. He bombarded her with love, and their online relationship moved fast.
Listen, chill out, man. First of all, you've sent an email with like Lord of the Rings level book. Calm down. In the middle, look at all of what she sent him, yeah? And then Donnie says, smile. Oh, shit. What a response. I want to come to you, baby. Can you promise me?
Stop it. Get some help.
I was flustered because that first message, he wants to come. Can you promise me bringing me home? I have to take up my responsibilities as your beloved husband in reality, baby. You need me, baby. Stop telling me all the broken stone story. Not stones, sticks and stones may break my bones. Stop telling me all the broken bones stories, baby. You need me around. You never listened to me. You believed outsiders than me. It hurts a lot, baby. You have to bring me home, baby. Are you there with me, baby? Shut the F up with the baby and do unspeakable things to yourself. Get a grip. Every single message ends with baby. Oh my God, the love bombing is up my ass. Stop telling me all the broken bones stories, baby. Someone please explain to me what that means. Did she break a lot of bones?
Was she sharing this information with you about the relationship that she was having with this guy?
Yes.
Okay, well, take it back then.
And she was like saying maybe he'll become your daddy, your new daddy. And it did make me feel uncomfortable.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, actually. Because I was about to say, maybe I'm too cynical. Good grief, woman. Why can't you just say he might become, your new stepfather or something? Why daddy? Why that word? Susie, you're a bit of a freak, aren't you?
But I wanted her to be happy.
Susanna nicknamed him the Good Doctor. They spent hours texting each other, and it wasn't long.
Sorry. Shut up with the baby, honestly, man. It's pissing me off. What is that first message she sent there, bro? Can you see that? Can you see that? He be eating out of my hand when the times comes. Susie, what you on about here, man? Oh, I don't get it.
Spent hours texting each other, and it wasn't long, just a month, before they started saying, I love you.
Well,
when Susanna came to you and said, I'm falling in love with someone I met online,
who's this?
What was your gut reaction?
My gut reaction was to get off the line.
Sue Ryan is Susanna's best friend.
I told her to be very careful because you can be anybody online.
Facts.
Like, what doctor or neurosurgeon, I would tell her, has time to be on Facebook all day if he's working?
Hold on, all of the people on the operating table in Syria right now. I gotta be on Facebook messaging my baby. Because did I ever mention she's my baby? I need everyone to understand. And I feel like it's been so long since you've seen this. But a neurosurgeon ain't doing that, bro. Most definitely, they also have the money to not ask you for money. So just remember that, please. And also, it really bugs me when the victims don't listen to the people around them. Your friends, right? Sure, I can understand that somewhat because you never really know your friends' true intentions. Maybe they're jealous, etc. Then you get into the best friends where it's like, okay, now I should start believing this person because they're more likely to have my best interests at heart. But then the daughter. I'm not sure if the daughter told you it's a scam. I guess we'll find out later on. But please listen to the people around you, or at the very least, take it with a pinch of salt. Don't take that out of context.
You naughty, naughty. You teasing me, you naughty, naughty.
It didn't make sense. That's at her house.
But the good doctor seemed to always have time to text.
Of course.
Sue showed us pictures of an outing she had with Susanna in the summer of 2022. In almost every single photo, she's on the phone, texting.
I actually felt kind of ignored that visit.
Because he was taking up all of her
Oh,
time.
yeah, she was on the phone 24/7.
I'll say another thing. Potentially unrelated, but I guess it is related because that's what is being discussed. If you are someone, or you go out with someone, your friends, or, a partner, or whatever, and they're constantly on their phone whilst it's supposed to just be you and them, right? I urge you to recognize your own self-worth and stop going out with that person, right? Even if they are just a friend and you're going out platonically, right? Just do things more worth your time, because they obviously don't value your time. So get a grip of yourself. Just as, an FYI, don't do that to yourself.
With all the affluence I acquired, you are
Crazy.
the one that brought happiness in my life. You gave me hope to never give up and be grateful all the time.
Shut up.
I cherish you, baby. You mean so much to me.
I was about to say, in that first message, he didn't say baby. So it's not a scammer anymore, but then he said baby.
You're sweet. I adore you.
And I told her, whatever you do, do not send him any money. No matter what the reason. You want to talk to him, you want to do this sexting, I guess it's called, with him. You have your fun, but do not send him any money.
Simple as
And
that.
what did she say?
Oh, I won't.
Do you know what I mean? It
But
really
she did.
is simple.
When Susanna asked her children for a $1,500 loan, they started digging into her finances.
That's another thing I hate about these victims. If you're going to send your own money, you delve into your own stupidity bag if that's what you want to do. They're definitely not selling that bag in Selfridges, I tell you that much.
This is great banter.
But when you bring in your family, friends, whoever, and you take money from them, you spin up some sort of story. I need a loan for this, that. That's when my sympathy very fast drains away.
Were shocked by what they uncovered.
Several loans, credit cards, lots of transactions being taken off.
Susie!
Transactions and loans that added up to more than $205,000. Every penny of it sent to the good doctor.
Who nicknamed him the good doctor, by the way? Who's done this?
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
Because he's not.
Wasn't all they found.
You found a marriage certificate that your mom had married this guy?
Yep.
Susanna believed she was married to Walter, a man she'd never met face to face. W5 did a reverse search on the photos of Walter Williams, and this came back. Scam alerts. Her kids called the Ontario Provincial Police, who said the marriage certificate was fake and that her money was gone, probably forever.
Yeah. You know, it's sad because when you look here, she's an attractive woman. It breaks my heart that she believes that this is how a relationship is supposed to be. I get it. She was with one person for a very long time. But it's just concerning at how oblivious someone can be. Like, I understand you were with one person. You don't really, get to see how dating is outside of your marriage. But is it that you're that much shielded from the rest of the world? It seems like you were living under a rock. It breaks my heart. And I really, really hope that everyone watching this, if you do know someone who is lonely for an extended period of time and they start seeing someone online, and which is ironic because you're not seeing them, but if it is a video call, then you're seeing them. So make sure that's a thing you do. Urge them, right? And maybe not pry and, invade their privacy, but like, just dig deep, right? As far as you can dig anyway. And just get to know what they're doing behind closed doors. Because it's crazy to me that on the outside, she told people, I'm not sending money, this, that. But she was already 205K deep, bloody married and everything. So you never really know someone. It's the curse of this all, right? You never really know what that person is doing.
A sense of what that was like for her to make the realization that not only was she out all this money, but she was also out love.
I think she felt devastated, hurt, and upset. She was taken advantage of. She was really worried how people are going to think of her.
So how did we get to drug
shaming
smuggling?
her, judging her.
If she knew.
Susanna had been duped in a classic romance scam. Broke and brokenhearted, she moved into her daughter Angela's spare bedroom, sleeping next to a photo of her late husband.
What was that like for her to move back in?
I think she was happy because she felt comfortable, to be with us, but at the same time, it's got to be humiliating and devastating.
Susanna started researching romance scams and realized her hard lessons could help others.
Your mom makes a decision that she doesn't want any other woman to be scammed the way that she was scammed, and so she's going to write a book about her experience.
She was working on writing the book, and this guy, James K. Wood,
my head,
helped her write it.
Oh my God.
Who's James K. Wood? Well, he's another man Susanna was now talking to online who used this photo. He popped up right after the good doctor scammed her out of her life savings.
Stop saying good doctor. Where? Who coined this? It's concerning to me once again that, cool, you've learned your lesson. Or at least, well, you haven't, but you would hope so. And now you're writing a book about being scammed? But, hey, I'm gonna fall for another scam after my research. So what research was done? It's concerning in that regard, but it's concerning in this regard because I don't have words, actually. As much as I can try and waffle my way out of this, I don't have words.
Another military man, special ops, who lived in California.
Who's going to help you write a book? What?
Or so he said.
She would send James what she was writing, and he would give her feedback on it.
What? When I had asked her, what's he like? Oh, he's really nice and kind and generous.
So she learned nothing.
He wants to protect me, and he wants to give me the world, and
so
he wants to,
nothing.
Shower me with gifts. And she was just so tickled pink on how it made her feel. And it was nice to see.
You've pissed me off with that comment, by the way. It was nice to see. Don't piss me off. It was nice to see in the first place. So neither of you learnt your lesson, I guess. Maybe that's just me being a bit too cynical. But this is pissing me off.
Just watched your mom be robbed out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and now a new person is coming into her life. Were you concerned that this new person
good
might
question.
not be on the up and up?
Not right away,
So,
because I'm thinking, what harm could it do?
what?
You knew that the doctor was a scam.
Yes.
Did you know that James?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, I
And
did.
did you tell her that?
I told her they were all scammers.
And what do you believe about the doctor and James?
I believe it's the same guy.
I believe that as well. You know, I forgot her name. Was it Sue? Sue? I love you. I don't understand, or scratch that. This is why sometimes I say you can only help someone so much. And there comes a point where your own mental health will decline trying to help someone that doesn't want to be helped, doesn't see the wrong in their own actions, and you just have to take a step back and learn, it's okay, I've done my best here. Maybe you can point them towards professional support, but you've done what you can. I urge everyone, follow the same way of thinking. You can only do so much for someone before it starts to deteriorate your own health. So, you know, Suzanne is her name, I think. You're pissing me off, and your daughter kind of pissed me off there as well. Not right away. Surely, I'm not saying be a cynical like me in life and everything you see, just see the negative in it. Because it very much hurts me sometimes as well in thinking like that. But just after being scammed out of 205K, bro, surely you're on high alert. Anyone who speaks to your mother online and is from the military, no less. I'm not saying all of them, right? There might be some military men out there who are doing up Facebook dating. But on high alert, B, right? Surely.
Her best friend Sue believes the same scammer who bilked Susanna out of all of her money had reappeared under the name James.
Great.
But this second character wasn't asking for anything. In fact, all he was doing was offering to give.
No. It's a long game.
We talked about philosophy, books, my poems.
Shut up.
He said he wanted to build a place for homeless children.
What a kind person.
He would call me to sing to me, push me to work on my book.
This is Susanna's book called I've Been Conned, Book for Dummies. The last chapter includes a text conversation with virtual co-editor James.
You are taking the mick, right? Is this a genuinely published book, or am I just looking at something for the sake of the documentary? Because if you've called the book I've Been Conned, Book for Dummies, the person writing it is a dummy. So, I guess, though, authenticity.
And she's convinced she loves.
I love you so much, sweetheart. I love you so much with hearts.
I love you so much with feet. What were you going for there exactly?
Love has truly been good to me. Not even 1 second or minute of pain have I had since you came into my life.
That's cap.
And she believes him.
She believes him.
Because he's not asking for any money.
Right. So he does this for a year, and then he says, you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to send you on a trip.
Please.
Sure enough, in the summer of 2022, Susanna told her daughter Angela that she was going on a trip to a place that didn't sound familiar.
She said to me she's going to Utopia.
Sorry?
And I was like, Utopia?
The word utopia means an imaginary perfect place. But that's not where Susanna was going. On August 11th, the day before the flight, a ticket arrived.
And I'm like, that's Ethiopia.
The tickets were for Ethiopia.
Yeah.
And when you saw that,
I kind of felt panicked. And one of my first instinctual reactions is don't go.
Yes, you'd hope so, but sorry. Did she say Ethiopia is utopia? Or did the scammer not mention Ethiopia and just said, "You're going to Utopia." Oh my God, my brain.
Who paid for her flights?
He did, James.
Early the next morning, Angela's mom woke her up.
She came in, gave me a kiss, and said she loved me. Sorry, that was the last time I seen her.
What the hell, man? You know,
Coming up,
She did meet
Suzanne's
with two
pissing me
individuals.
off.
a sudden trip leads to suspicious events
I was very scared, very concerned.
when
You
W5
would be.
continues.
W5. Oh, we technically got an advert, apparently. You know, Ethiopian Airways, we're taking off. Suzanne's brain definitely has taken off. I will say, if you're seeing this, then thankfully it's got through the web. But if you're not seeing this, and I'm genuinely speaking to absolutely no one, great life.
August 2022. Small-town widow Susanna Thayer embarked on an adventure of a lifetime. After being bilked out of hundreds of thousands of dollars by someone using this photo in a classic romance scam, a man using this photo came into Susanna's life online, showering her with love and a trip to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Her daughter Angela says it was all expenses paid.
Food, everything, because there's no transactions came out that she had paid for anything for this trip while she was in Ethiopia.
Yeah, because, I mean, if we are talking about the same scammer, he's got $205K to spare. So all expenses paid, baby. Come smuggle drugs for me. I will urge everyone, I'm begging you, if you're talking to someone online and you've never met them in person, let alone a video call, do not go to another country for whatever reason. That's it. Don't do it. If they tell you, come here, I'm in this country, come see me, don't do it. I mean, you know, at some point you're going to have to meet each other, right? If they're genuine. But if they're genuine, you would have seen each other on a phone call already or a video call. But even then, I mean, they could turn out to be a serial killer. So actually, just be very cautious. And if you're going to meet like in the middle somewhere, or they come see you, I guess. I don't know. It's confusing. But yeah, just be safe, you know. You know how you practice safe sex? Practice e-safety as well.
You didn't spend a penny.
No. Actually, the only thing she did spend was she had to buy herself a new pair of sandals because the one she had broke. That's the only money she really spent.
Yeah, so basically
This is the hotel where Susanna stayed for 3 weeks before her life took a terrible turn. Best friend Sue Ryan spoke with Susanna every day on the phone.
She went to Ethiopia under the premise that she was going to meet this man.
Yes.
Did she ever tell you if she met him?
Why the hell?
She told me she met him. She told me she actually sent me pictures, tried to tell me she went on Safari. I called her on it. I said, you didn't go on no Safari. Those are magazine clippings.
Crazy. So she
These
lied
are the
to her
pictures Susanna sent her. Professional photos, clearly not taken by her.
And why do you think she was lying to you?
Because she knew what my fear was.
Do you think that she realized when she was there, oh, everything Sue told me is true?
No, I don't think she believed it yet.
Do you think that your mom ever met James in Ethiopia?
No. I don't think she ever met him at all.
James not real. So
Trying to piece together just what happened during those 3 weeks, W5 worked with Ethiopian investigative journalist Samuel Getachew.
What have you been able to uncover about where Susanna went when she landed in Addis, and how long did she stay there?
Well, she stayed in Addis Ababa for approximately 3 weeks. She stayed in an apartment-like hotel.
Samuel traveled to the hotel in an upscale part of the capital city in search of answers.
Did she meet with anybody when she was there?
She did meet with 2 individuals.
Samuel spoke to hotel staff who confirmed that 2 men repeatedly visited Susanna here during that 3-week period.
I'm actually doing some video.
This is the closest we can come to identifying the 2 men. Cell phone video shot by Susanna.
You'll be good at that. Like, you need to try.
Yeah. Sorry.
You can kind of see one man in the mirror. The other isn't visible at all.
What were you able to decipher about who these guys might be and where they might be from?
What we know is they're not Ethiopians, but from their accent, it's a broken English that's frequented in Western Africa, to be precise, in Nigeria.
We know that Nigeria really does have a reputation for being at the forefront of romance scams.
Unfortunately, that's the reality, and we've seen too many victims.
Avoid check.
With her mom halfway around the world, Angela started doing some digging.
She sends me a picture of this James Kaywood guy, so...
Now? Hold on a second, man. You know, as much as I feel for the daughter, she's doing dumb shit herself, bro. Now you want to do research once your mom has left the bloody country? What the shit is going on, man? Oh, and I've got like half an hour left, man. I'm sorry, this video is probably hella long in itself, but, you know, some people have asked for longer videos. That's if you're even seeing this. But let me know in the comments. Surely she's done this too late, bro.
My son, he knows the internet a little bit better, so he ended up doing a reverse picture lookup. And it said that this James Kaywood is a scam.
So once she's in a car with 2 strange men, let's reverse image search. And people dare to comment, dare to say, I'm harsh. Come on, man. Come on.
Help me! Help me!
That this image has been used by scammers to con women, including your mom.
And I was afraid that if I were to try to talk to her about it, her being so far away, it would be totally disconnect, not wanting, you know, not talking to me.
For the second time, a scammer using a fake photo has tricked Susanna. The first time to rip her off of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this time to lure her halfway around the world.
Also, I must reiterate, when she was doing her research and writing this book, yeah, you're telling me she didn't come across the fact that scammers use fake pictures, or she didn't come across the ability to simply Google search an image. Are you telling me none of that happened? Because what research was done then?
And so when your son told you that, what was going through your mind?
Oh, shit.
I was very scared, very concerned.
Yes.
But at the same time...
Sorry?
I'm talking to her every day. Everything seemed to be fine. She's happy. She's enjoying the nice warm weather and talking to the people at the hotel.
Sorry.
She seemed happy.
What the hell has happened here that somehow she's got the entire staff to take a picture with her? What the shit has happened there, bro? Someone let me know in the comments. Have the staff been told she's like an important person or something? I'm so confused. But I wouldn't necessarily, you know, class her seeming happy on the phone, etc., as a safe sign, because she's obviously lied multiple times. So she's just lying again. She could be. This daughter, maybe she's been too protected as well, huh? Maybe she's been too shielded from the world. Now, don't get me wrong. Shielding someone, your partner, your children, I understand it. But there comes a point where we cross the boundary of it becoming a bit too protective, overprotective, if you wish. And they don't actually experience the unfortunate negativities of the world. And then when they do experience it, perhaps later on in life, it's just too late, right? They don't know how to navigate the situation, as we've seen here, or they believe everything that everyone tells them, which is ironic because she's not believing her own best friend. But anyway, so if there's any advice, I can give to that, at least how I'm going to perhaps parent my future children. I'm going to protect you as much as I can, but in certain situations where I feel a lesson can be learnt, but you're not going to be severely affected, right? You're gonna learn this. But if it gets too bad, I'm stepping in, right? I've seen the case or an example on Twitter. There was a shitting debate, because there's a debate about everything, apparently. A child was, swinging on a swing, but in a manner where they're going to fall off and they're going to get hurt, right? And the father was taping it, right? But not stepping in to say, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. And just let the kid carry on. And then the kid fell, obviously, and hurt themselves. I can't remember if the kid cried or not. I don't think they did. But then the father goes up and says, do you see what happens when you do things like that? So that's what I mean in that kind of sense. But then again, someone let me know in the comments, would that make me a shitty father? I don't know. You could call that tough parenting, I guess. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously, I don't like to baby these people, especially being grown adults. Now, I'm going to cut some leeway for a child. But when you're a grown adult and you are flying across the world to someone you've never seen in the hopes of meeting them, genuinely, I don't even think you were watching crime documentaries in the house, bro. There's shielding, and then there's, solely watching Disney Channel circa 2008.
Besides, Susanna was scheduled to come home in a matter of days. And then a strange development. With her tourist visa about to expire, Susanna needed to leave Ethiopia.
Yes.
The mysterious boyfriend with the fake photo arranged for that to happen. But instead of a flight home to Canada, he had a different plan.
I kept asking my mom, I'm like, what's going on? And then it was, he's sending me to Hong Kong.
The solution was to send her to Hong Kong instead of sending her back to Canada?
Yeah.
Why?
She said that he was out on a mission and that's where he was going to meet her next.
When she was in the
Meet her next. You didn't meet in Ethiopia, bro. There's no red flags going on here. You are genuinely in the comments. Someone is going to tell me that she is this lonely and we're going to excuse her for this. Guys, you're doing more harm to these victims than the people who are harsh to your, in your opinion. It's just crazy.
In Ethiopia, I told her straight. I said, Sue, I'm going to tell you my biggest fear is that this guy's turning you into a drug runner. If he gives you anything to take with you to Hong Kong, don't take it.
And what did she say to that?
Oh, he won't do that to me. She didn't believe me.
Oh, because he's done so many
She
good
should
things
have.
for you right now.
Right before Susanna left for the airport, the two men she'd met in the car brought her gifts. Strange gifts.
I was actually on the phone with her maybe the day before leaving. She was given a suitcase and she was given clothing and she was like, oh my God, I got some clothing and
Shut up.
They're really loud, but I'm going to bring them home to you and you can pick what clothes you want out of it.
Yeah, it's sad to hear how much of a child Suzanne actually is, Oh my God, I got clothing from these two random men who I don't think we've clarified who the hell they are in relation to James.
I was really excited.
This is a photo Susanna took of the suitcase she was given. It was cheap and rickety. She put on one of the new dresses and wore it to the airport for her flight to Hong Kong.
Who took this picture of her?
Your family had set up Find My Phone.
That was myself, yeah.
So you were able to track your mom through your phone, and you watched as she went to the airport in Addis Ababa, and then she kind of disappeared off the face of the earth.
So I started calling her phone at 10
She
o'clock,
turned her phone off.
and she wasn't answering. So I texted her a bunch of times, where are you, what's going on? I checked the Find My location, it showed that she was still at the Hong Kong airport.
Do you know, I will say this, and I don't know if this is in itself harsh or not, but I understand your daughter is a grown adult herself, has her own family and stuff. But if you as the parent are putting yourself in positions to unnecessarily create worry and create stress for the rest of your family, friends, etc., I don't think you give a shit about anyone else. I'm really sorry, because you could argue when she was with her best friend, always on the phone, you don't really care about her, because what are you doing, right? If you're always on your phone replying to that person, that means that they are always available. So you can come back in a few hours after spending time with your friend. But in this case, if you can hear my belly rumbling, not only am I hungry, but my belly is hungry for answers. I just can't understand why you would put yourself in such a position. Why the hell, by the way, in the amount of time that you was in Ethiopia, where was James? Where was he? Is he that busy now? He's not busy when you're across the world in Canada and he's helping you write a book. But when you are actually in the place he's told you to be in, he's too busy to come visit you.
So I was checking every half hour just to, see where she was. And then Find My location disappeared.
I'm assuming internet was turned off
kind of started
or something.
to panic.
I understand that. I would as well. I mean, completely not related to the story, but kind of. Maybe I need to stop saying that. In the back of my mind, I have the comments, oh, you talk too much, etc. So that's why I kind of say that. So I should learn to not give a shit. But when my mum, for example, goes out to work or goes shopping and I phone her and I don't get an answer, I get a little bit of panic, right? Just because it's my mum. Do I need a reason? So I completely understand her, and it's more severe in her case when your mum is supposed to be flying again across the world and you don't even have a location.
Angela's panic instinct was bang on.
How did you learn that your mom was in really big trouble at the Hong Kong airport?
Can you hear that? The police have gone past just as they start to speak about her being arrested. And dogs barking. The canines are coming. They smelt the coke on me, bro. Chill out, I'm a Pepsi guy. I'm actually none of them. I'm a Karma Cola type guy, if you know that drink. So Karma, sponsor me.
Wasn't really till the next day.
And what did you learn?
Wow, her face was...
Well, she was arrested.
Goodness gracious me.
She was arrested for trafficking cocaine.
Do you know what's crazy? In the fact that some romance scam stories that we've looked at, the lover that is pretending to be the lover, they get arrested because, hotel staff planted drugs in their suitcase. We've got flip reverse. The victim is actually being arrested for drugs this time.
And all she said was, there's cocaine in a button.
In a button? Oh my God. The reporter said the same thing as me. The lights are flashing bright. It's not life flashing before your eyes. But maybe you could argue, hopefully now life is flashing before Suzanne's eyes to realize, holy shit, how the hell do you get cocaine in a button, bro? Like, I used to watch a show where it was about airport security. I can't remember the name of it. And it's kind of like documentary / reality TV. People come in, they open up their suitcase, they check the suitcase, they find drugs, they find freaking lizards one time, I swear. Or maybe I don't swear, because maybe I've just made that up. But do you know that show? Hopefully someone has watched that show and, you know, I've not, you know, been making myself seem as if I've just made a show up. But Hollywood, contact me. We'll make a show like that if I've just made it up. But like, I've seen weird shit. Like, people put drugs in all sorts of things, right? How the hell do you get it in a button, bro? I'm assuming you cut the button in half, slap some coke in there, screwed the button back on. I don't even know, bro.
This is the police photo showing 262 buttons
that is weird.
that were on the clothes she'd been given in her new suitcase.
Oh, shit.
And this is what was inside of them. Police say it's cocaine, 1 kilogram's worth, with a street
crazy.
value of about $150,000 Canadian.
Do you know, that's insane to me, the fact that they've robbed you of more than what the cocaine is worth.
She said to me, she goes, I just want you to remember, I will always love you. Never forget that.
Yeah,
And that I didn't do anything wrong.
Hong Kong drug police announced the bust publicly and released this photo.
Sorry, why have we slapped like a potato sack on her face? Surely a mask would have sufficed.
Imagine seeing your mother like this, with a hood over her head, accused of a crime that could put her behind bars for decades.
I will say, just because I thought of it now, it's a potato sack because her brain well and truly must have been mashed if she went along with any of this.
Susanna was taken here to Tai Lam Center for Women, a maximum security prison just north
I
of
was
the
going to
airport.
say, that looks scary, kind of.
What do you know about what they do to people who are smuggling drugs in Hong Kong?
I've just heard that it could be lock you up and throw away the key and you may never, talk to anybody ever again.
Coming up.
If you are the victim of a scam, you're an unwitting drug mule.
Blinded by love and duped into a crime.
What do you think the odds are of ever finding the people who set up Susanna?
When W5 continues.
When W5 continues, and the guy will say slim to none, because none of these bastards ever get caught. I understand the previous guy saying you're an unwitting or unwittingly, whatever the hell the word was, drug mule, because how the hell do you expect drugs to be in your clothing buttons? But I will say that the red flag is already there before you even fly out. Why are you given random clothes? I'm assuming James has said, here's some new clothes for you to wear. But why? Right? I mean, I can say why. I'm not naive to the fact that to her, this is just a nice gift. But to everyone else watching this, if you are randomly given gifts from anyone, actually, maybe not anyone, maybe, that's the cynical in me coming out. But especially when it concerns someone you're speaking to online and you've never seen them in person, I urge you to get some type of professional support to help you analyze the gifts, bro. And I've seen on Twitter as well, actually, there was a VTuber, which I don't understand what that really means. But there was someone who did a P.O. box type thing and people attached, to the gifts that they sent, people attached tracking devices. And this person was urging everyone, if you do that type of P.O. box stuff, check at the location before taking it home with you. So that's scary. It's kind of put me off ever doing a P.O. box, but I trust everyone who supports this channel and is part of the TT would never do that, please. But as you can see, you just never know. And you should always exercise caution. Even if you're the most positive person in the world, have some negativity about you. Do you know what I mean? Please. Play? Goodness. I get the title now.
Angela Thayer is packing her bags at her home in Barrie, Ontario, preparing to travel halfway around the world to Hong Kong. Just weeks earlier, her mother, 64-year-old Suzanne, was arrested with cocaine in the buttons of her clothing. She faces the rest of her life behind bars.
When you first heard what your mom was accused of, what went through your mind?
This is a horrible nightmare. This can't be true. This is just a really, really bad dream.
Always real.
I'm never gonna see my mom again.
Oh, she says mom.
There are two reasons that people really get involved in being a mule. These are money and love.
Jason Eli is an expert on the subject. He works for the Global Initiative Against Transnational Organized Crime. He's traveled the world studying how drug syndicates work.
When you look at Suzanne Thayer and her profile, how does that fit in to what you know about drug mules?
Well, in a way, she's perfect, right? She's from a Western country. She's older. She's female, and she's white. So there's this belief that somebody with that type of profile would be less likely to be profiled out by police.
What can you tell us about the connection between Ethiopia and Hong Kong?
A lot more cocaine is flowing in that direction than used to flow. Hong Kong is a major airport in East Asia and a great connection point. The further you get the cocaine away from its production point in Latin America, the more you can charge for it per kilo. So Africa as a continent is a perfect transit location. It has weakly controlled borders, weakly monitored but well-structured ports. It has air connections around the world, and it has governments that I think could perhaps graciously be called accommodating when it comes to criminal markets.
Meanwhile, Angela Thayer has just landed from a 16-hour flight from Canada. She's navigating the busy Hong Kong airport, walking the same steps that her mother took just weeks ago before being arrested for drug smuggling.
Just randomly with a camera person as well, by the way.
Her prison visit with her mother won't happen for another 2 days. It gives Angela time to come.
I'm glad to see now she's looking to her left-hand side this time instead of always looking on her right-hand side. So, progression, baby.
Time to come to this seedy part of town, known for its massage parlors, sex workers, and cheap street food.
What a... I'm sorry, but what a weird definition of seedy we've got here. Like, massage parlors, sex workers, and cheap street food. What? Like, is it just me that thinks none of those... Well, maybe massage parlors and sex workers, they correlate, I guess. Where the hell has the cheap street food come? And if there is cheap street food in a particular street, does it make it seedy? What? Man, I wish then the streets of London were seedy so I could get some affordable street food, bro.
Angela is here to meet this man. He is a lifeline to her mother. His name is John Witherspoon.
Sorry, what? Witherspoon?
The 76-year-old Australian has lived here for almost 4 decades. He's an advocate for women who've been duped into being drug mules. He even investigates and collects evidence for those facing trial. But Witherspoon isn't a detective or a lawyer.
What is he doing here?
He's a Catholic priest.
Oh.
Praise to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Spirit, three in one. Praise and glory forever. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
How did it get to be that you, as a priest and a prison chaplain, became this almost savior for drug mules in Hong Kong?
These people are usually vulnerable, lonely, economically in need, easily tricked sort of people, and they are targeted, unfortunately, by the big fish, as I call them, to bring drugs, and we try to help them.
In 2013, Father John launched a public awareness campaign called No More Mules, after noticing a surge of foreigners being arrested on drug smuggling charges.
And then 17 to Kuala Lumpur.
As a prison chaplain, he counseled them, but he also traveled to their home countries to spread the message across Africa, Asia, and South America.
Do you know the beauty of this guy is that well and truly you never know what someone is doing, right? It's a beauty and a curse to never know what's going on behind closed doors. There's obviously the bad stories, but in the good sense here, I would have never expected that this is what he does outside of being a priest. So fair enough to him.
Don't bring drugs to Hong Kong.
How did you first come to hear about the story of Suzanne Thayer?
I first heard about Suzanne because her daughter Angela contacted me. She found my name on the internet somehow.
Okay.
And as soon as I heard about her, my heart went out to her. I just wanted to try to help.
They've talked on the phone, but this is the first time Angela and Father John are meeting in person.
Angela.
Hi.
Welcome to Hong Kong.
Thank you.
Good to see
That
you.
was an awkward handshake.
Good you could come. Really good you could come.
I'm really, really glad to be here.
You look like your mum.
Thank you.
Well,
This is our little centre just here.
Yes.
That's how DNA works.
Angela, come on. Welcome to the Dr. Jesus Centre. This is Jane, you know, from telephone calls.
Finally! I've been expecting you.
Sorry, why in the hell is there a tube map sign there? Because the London Underground, I can tell you, is not in Hong Kong.
Welcome to Hong Kong.
Jane's a social worker, especially looking after prisoners, and she's visited your mum already, and we're very happy to be able to help you in your time here in Hong Kong.
And I actually really appreciate, more than words can say, on how you guys are helping my mother going to visit her when I'm not able to.
You know, I was gonna say, she's actually very lucky here, you know. Like, both Suzanne and the daughter, they are extremely lucky, because I'm not sure this guy is able to see and help everyone. So, you know, there's been a story before we've looked at where a romance scam victim got their money back. I'll put it up there as a card if you want to watch that episode. She got her money back and then even still pissed it away at another time. So I hope that's not the case here, please.
Time I saw her, she was relaxed and more calm.
Yeah.
And I got her M&M chocolates.
She loves chocolates.
And yeah, she told me, oh, I love M&M. So I think that cheered her up a bit.
The rapper?
She said she felt like Job in the Bible. Job was a good person, but then suddenly lost everything. And she felt like that. So I said to her, yeah, but remember, Job had a happy ending, had 10 more children. You've got 10 more kids on the way. She was smiling a bit at the end.
Susanna has just been moved to a medium security prison called Lo Wu. Conditions are considered good by international standards, but still Susanna does not understand Cantonese and is one of just a handful of Western women.
That must be so difficult, you know. Look at, sorry, has this bus come out of Harry Potter or something? What a bus that is. I love the shape of it. Swatch.
It's the day Angela has been waiting for. She's finally going to visit her mother.
Oh, and we're taking the camera in there as well?
We're about 15 minutes away from the prison.
Who
How are you
allowed
feeling?
this?
Mixed of emotions.
What do you mean?
I feel like I want to cry
Oh, just cry and it's okay.
because it's also exciting. I have no idea when I'll see her again after it.
Oh.
When I leave
Let
this
it out.
week, at the end of this week, I get to go home.
Let it out.
And she won't be able to.
Okay,
See you
good luck.
soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. She's not going in with her? As like backup or something?
Prison rules are strict. Visitors are only allowed for 15 minutes a day.
Ma, what do you
Even for
say?
family members like Angela, who's
Like-
traveled 13,000 kilometers to see her mom.
Are we going to film that?
15 minutes goes awfully fast, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, we did
yeah,
not, okay.
we're there
Makes
talking,
sense.
and next thing it's, 9 minutes. Next thing it's, a minute and, 52 seconds. And next thing the buzzer's going off, all the other women are going back in, and my mom and I sat there for a few more seconds. Then we had to get up and leave.
And what was the first thing that she said to you?
I love you, and I'm sorry. I bawled, I cried, I couldn't stop crying. I just wanted to hug her, and it hurt.
I don't know why my eyes are watering up. I can feel the heaviness approaching. Get a grip.
Ouch, baby. Very ouch.
On that side, and there wasn't anything that I could do.
Well, you could break her out. If, you wanted to.
Father John Wotherspoon is a bit of a celebrity in Hong Kong.
I need a my hodo chong.
thank you. 多謝你啊，神父。好啊。
He counsels sex workers.
而家 Eddie 幾點鐘啊？咁準時哇！
Hosts dinners for people with addictions.
We're on the second
great
floor
guy,
here.
Okay.
And his charity, called Mercy Hong Kong, even provides shelter.
What a great guy.
These are women who all lost their job because of COVID.
Most of them, yes. Good morning, anybody home?
Including these foreign domestic workers who were left jobless when COVID hit.
What's your story quickly? Why are you here?
I'm terminated.
Why were you terminated?
No reason.
Just thrown out?
Yes, just on the spot.
Do you know that is an unfortunate thing about working, by the way? Like, it doesn't matter where you are, what work you do. At the snap of a thing, I can't pronounce finger, apparently, in this video. But at the click of a finger, your boss can become Thanos. See you later. So, if there's also anything to take from this video, is know your self-worth in regards to employment as well, right? Don't let yourself be treated like shit, and go where you're loved, not tolerated. And that applies to employment as well, because that's what I just said.
But Father John, who calls this tiny apartment home, has also become an advocate and an investigator for those accused of being
does
drug
everything.
mules.
If you tell me in the nighttime he is Batman, I'm gonna believe you. He does so much.
Now he's taken on the case of a grandmother from Barrie, Ontario, Suzanne Thayer, who he believes was duped into bringing a kilo of cocaine into Hong Kong.
Do you know the cynical in me, which is not pronounced correctly, the cynic in me, we don't see the messages before she obviously boards the flight to Hong Kong, right? We don't see the lead up to it. We don't really see any text messages too much. I'd love to see the background, right? The context. Was she actually unknowing of this? Or, you know what I mean? I'd love to see more So it's right now it's giving the vibe that this documentary is on Suzanne's side, so to speak. But I'd like to see the text messages leading up to her flying, but
You're doing all the work
They
that you
look
do
like
as a priest, but you're also kind of an investigator, a detective. Come on.
It's not my job. I'm supposed to be just giving out Bibles in prison, but if I can do something to help.
Well, is it just a feeling that you're having to fill this void because no one's doing
Well,
it?
this is it. No one else is doing it. It's a job that governments should do, but it's very complicated, a bit dangerous.
well, if it's dangerous for the government, it's going to be dangerous for a regular, schmegular civilian, no? Except he's not. He's Batman.
In just a few weeks, he will travel to 8 countries over 2 months to personally try to prevent drug mules from coming.
Wow. Bloody
I'm looking
hell.
at all these little stickers on your map, and it's painting a pretty big picture you've got ahead.
Yes, since 2015,
This is
I've
his
used
lair.
my annual holiday to go to other countries, to visit families of people in prison, to help stop drug mules coming to Hong Kong, to meet with authorities there. And it's been very blessed.
Blessed is an understatement, honestly. And it's sad I forgot your name. Was it John? John Weatherspoon. You got Weatherspoon's the pub, which I've never stepped foot in. But people have said is shit. He's far from shit.
One of the countries Father John will visit is Ethiopia. His plan is to try to investigate who gave Susanna that suitcase filled with drug-stuffed buttons.
What do you think the odds are of ever finding the people who set up Susanna?
Good question. Maybe not big odds, but there's a lot of leads.
Fair.
If those leads can prove that Susanna Thayer didn't know she was smuggling drugs, Hong Kong lawyer Michael Arthur says that could be enough to get her case dropped.
What sorts of arguments do you have to make to the courts here to say that this woman should be shown some leniency because she didn't know?
The prosecution must prove knowledge, all right? If you don't know that you've got the drugs, then you can't be knowingly in possession.
Yes.
If you are the victim of a scam, then you don't know. You're an unwitting drug mule.
Yeah, but I'd like to see the text.
Originally from New Zealand, Arthur has worked in Hong Kong for more than 30 years as both a prosecutor and a defense lawyer. He has personally defended more than a dozen cases similar to Susanna's. He says in each of his cases, the accused was acquitted, but there were hurdles.
The most difficult thing is persuading the court to allow evidence that these scams go on, not simply that she was the victim of a scam.
Are you saying that the courts here are not sort of open to accepting evidence that shows that these scammers are legitimate crime syndicates?
They were very resistant to that.
That's why Michael Arthur says it's so important to present evidence that proves Susanna was an unwitting victim. Any correspondence she had with the scammers, the gifts she received from the scammers. And if she can't prove her innocence?
What's she looking at for time?
Well, she's looking at serious jail time. I've got a case, nearly 3 kilograms of ketamine, and that's going to attract a sentence in the region of 23 years.
My lord.
So for some of these people with these big sentences,
One big horse.
if you're a 70-year-old person and you get a sentence like that, then it's a death sentence, isn't it?
Coming up,
I feel lost and it's just devastating.
facing a bleak life behind bars.
It would be a life.
When W5 continues.
Bro, I don't think this story has a happy ending, but let me know your thoughts in the comments so far. What do you make of the story? It's interesting to hear that the courts don't take it serious in the sense that, you know, using scam as a defense for your drug smuggling. But I guess I can see where they're coming from in the sense that you have done a crime. Like, regardless if you've been scammed or not. You've done the crime. So it is, as the guy said, it is all about, you know, trying to persuade them that you didn't know. But can I know? Can I see the text messages, please? I'm sure there must have been something or some message on why she was given such clothing. Maybe I don't know if she would have actually, but if I'm given such clothing as a gift, I mean, for one, I'm not flying across the world to see someone that I've never seen on a video call. But I'd ask, why? Why? I'd look through them. Something must be weird about this. Not I'm just going to slap on the clothes, take a picture where I look very happy. Who took that picture? I'd love to know. So let me know in the comments your thoughts so far. There's not long left of the video. I don't know how long the commentary section is, / reaction parts. Let me know. W5. The cocaine burns.
Angela Thayer has flown from Canada to Hong Kong to see her mother in prison. Today will be her second 15-minute visit. On the drive to Lo Wu Prison, Angela gets a phone call.
Sorry, is that her ringtone? Because that sounds like, an olden day phone. So, what's going on there?
So basically, I can't see my mom the rest of the week. At least 7 days, and I leave Friday, so I can't see her. All right, thank you. Bye.
What happened?
COVID.
What?
Someone has COVID in the prison. My mom was close contact, so now she's in quarantine. So it means I can't see her the rest of this week.
Makes sense.
I mean, you've traveled so far for 15 minutes.
Life
if I
is
can't
crazy.
see her, I just want to go home.
Life is crazy. And the person driving this car is probably just like, just doing his job.
I feel lost and
oh, great
just
B-roll.
feels like everything's
just stand there, look sad.
just a big barrier to see my mom.
What is that?
It's just devastating.
Or neck pillow. Why?
Because it hurts so much. I just want to go home to my family and I just want to hold them. Because I can't hold my mom.
Angela makes the long plane trip back to Canada. She flew 13,000 kilometers for 15 minutes with her mother. And now the only way she can stay in touch is through letters. Susanna writes daily.
The pain in here is so real.
Letters?
I don't know how one could hurt as much as I am right now, being innocent.
As in actual
in jail.
letters?
Why would someone do this to me?
She describes her cell, shared with 15 other women,
My lord.
tells her family how much she misses them, and begs them to forgive her.
I hope you can forgive me for being so foolish.
Well, at least
Susanna
she
gets
accepted
one 10-minute phone call a month. Angela recorded this call she and her brother received just before Christmas.
I just love you guys.
I love you too.
And I'm missing you guys so much. It's unbelievable.
You don't know how much I miss you. I just want you to know that I love you so much, Mom.
My heart
I love
is breaking
every
right now.
single one of my family.
And I want to wish you a
sarcasm, by the
Merry
way.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you guys, okay? And Happy New Year. I want you guys to know that I am completely done with internet dating.
Probably for the best.
This is a rude awakening.
Very rude, if anything.
I've only got 1 minute left.
I love you,
But
Mom.
I want you to know that I love you all with my heart and soul. Okay?
I will say, sorry to piss on the bonfire here, but if you did truly love them, you would have listened to them in the beginning. Like, that's just my opinion. As much as I do want to join in with the crying, like, my eyes are heavy. I feel for you. As much as some people might think I'm harsh, I do have sympathy for these people in the sense that I don't wish anyone goes through this. Sympathy, lacking in regards to you being a fool is another thing. I just wish people who do love, their family and friends and stuff, just back that up, right? Listen to them, right? They might be wrong. Maybe this person is, the potential love of your life, right? But I think the downside and what could go wrong is worse than missing out with your bloody soulmate. Do you know what I mean? Which, if they were your soulmate and the love of your life, you would have met them long before any of this anyway. So listen to your loved ones if you truly love them.
So we'll be going to the hotel where Susanna was staying.
Catholic priest John Wotherspoon has arrived in Ethiopia, and he's teamed up with investigative journalist Samuel Getachew.
How long do they keep the CCTV?
They told me they keep it for about a year.
The duo is on the hunt for proof that Susanna was tricked into smuggling drugs into Hong Kong.
Let's get to work, baby.
The key evidence they need is surveillance video at the hotel where Susanna stayed.
Can you remember her?
Yes.
What can you remember about her?
She will be customer.
Father John finds a camera-shy waiter in the hotel's lobby who remembers seeing Susanna for the 3 weeks she was there.
Yeah, because you guys took a picture.
She's the writer.
She's a writer,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Then Father John tracks down a manager.
If we could get the CCTV.
That surveillance video could identify just who delivered the drug-filled suitcase and clothing.
If you're agreeable, maybe we don't need the police permission. If you're agreeable to help us.
She said it's a must.
Sure.
The manager refused to hand over the video. Father John even went to the local police station to try to get help, but it was futile. And so he left Ethiopia empty-handed.
Not saying that the hotel are potentially involved in bringing, and housing said mules or scam victims, but allegedly, because it's pretty weird that you wouldn't give it up.
W5 picked up his fight for the surveillance video. After 4 months of emails to police, consular officials in Canada and Ethiopia, even a local lawyer, a breakthrough. Police finally agreed to help get the video. They even went to the hotel with a letter from the police commissioner. But it was too late. The hotel manager claims that vital piece of evidence was deleted 3 weeks earlier.
Crazy.
Hi, Mom. Hello?
Hi.
Back in Canada, Angela is on the phone with her mom. Both know it could be years before Susanna's case even gets to trial.
I love you, Mommy. I just want you to know that I love you and I miss you so much.
With just 10 minutes to speak each month, connection issues can be frustrating.
Mom? Hello, Mama? I can't hear you.
In the prison telephone room, there's a clock that lets Susanna know when time is running out.
Little losing in about a minute. I don't really want you guys to know what it's really like.
I have an idea what it's like.
It would be a life. If I'm affected. And not being able to see my family again. Hurts the most. It's very hard. And I love everybody. I even love those who have seen.
Man, FM.
Yeah, I've got 27 seconds left. But stay healthy, stay strong, okay?
And same with you, Mom.
I'm gonna lose you. I love you.
I love you. I love you too, Mom. I love you. I love you. Stay on the line and say you love me until you have to go. Love you. I just lost her.
W5 has done a number of investigations into romance scams. To watch them, go to our website, w5.ctvnews.ca.
Hey, listen, if this don't get bloody banned or blocked, banned, who's banning me? The scammer? You can't do shit, mate. Allegedly. Just leave me alone, please. I'm gonna try and go find some sort of article that might provide an update here, because I feel like we didn't get a proper conclusion. I know they said it might be years until the trial even happens, but I'll see what I can find. I'll be back. So I found the article. It's the most up-to-date one that I could find, given the outcome of everything. Now, I beg you look at this headline, I guess. Hong Kong prison ordeal abruptly ends for unwitting drug mule. Suzanne, the victim of an alleged romance scam, spent 9 months in prison before being released with no explanation. What? Like, they just opened the cell and said, Suzanne, F off. Sense? Is it made? Now, this is her and her lawyer, Gerard Morada, taking a selfie outside the Hong Kong courthouse, which they sent to her daughter in Barry. Yes, daughter, yes. She unexpectedly... English? Doesn't exist. Unexpectedly released by officials, no explanation. She had been in prison 9 months. She was arrested for drug trafficking in 2022 September. Suzanne tells the story of her detainment in a Chinese prison and the twist in the story around her sudden and unexpected release in May after she was jailed in Hong Kong, September 2022, for allegedly smuggling cocaine into the country through the airport. Suzanne, anyway, the victim of an alleged romance scam, which is concerning that this person has written this article saying alleged, because it was there. I mean, traveled to Hong Kong to meet a man whom she had developed a long-distance online relationship with. He called himself James, claimed to be a member of the military, the United States military, living in California. Not long before this mystery man was set to travel to Toronto to meet her in March 2022, she received an email from James informing her that he would not, in fact, fly to Ontario because not allowed. She then submitted a passport application in order to fly to Ethiopia to meet him instead. Her daughter, Angela, is convinced that her mother had no idea where she was actually going because she said utopia, which, ironic, because utopia, when they showed the definition, means imaginary great place or something. So that is where you were going in your head and this story, but you were actually going to Ethiopia. James purchased her the ticket, hotels, meals while she was away, but the two never actually met. Due to a travel visa that was soon to expire, a flight home to Toronto was set, but a last-minute change saw her travel to Hong Kong. On her departure date, Suzanne was gifted a suitcase full of new clothes from James, which, unbeknownst to her, contained cocaine hidden inside buttons on the clothing. She was arrested in Hong Kong with 2.2 pounds of narcotic in her possession. So I guess I missed that part in the fact that literally on the day she was going to fly out, that's when the gift was given to her. That in itself is weird, because if someone is gifting you something, you would make sure they receive it beforehand, because you never know on the day of the flight what could go wrong. So that in itself is weird. I guess we will never learn of any text messages I'd love to see them. Angela learned of her mother's fate on September the 6th, when Susanna called to tell her she'd been arrested for drug trafficking. In the end, Susanna spent 274 days, almost 9 months, before being released on May 27th, with no explanation as to why. They wore me down at the airport 3 days prior to the interrogation. On video, she said, I was in handcuffs for 3 days, but was surprised they took them off for the video interrogation. Now, I actually saw the interrogation on YouTube. Like, I saw the videos split part 1, part 2. I read the description, and she alleged in the interrogation that she was denied a lawyer, and, well, the lawyer's here in the picture, so not too sure what was going on there. I don't think there was much to learn from the interrogation videos themselves. I watched a little bit of them, but I figured the article would be better in explaining instead of the videos, just because obviously the interrogation doesn't provide an update. So Susanna says she repeatedly requested a lawyer from the first day of incarceration, but was refused one. So thank you very much for confirming that was the case, instead of me just saying it from the video and no one potentially believing me. She also asked to speak with the Canadian consulate in Hong Kong, but they denied that as well, she claims. Medication she required for heart problems, such as pills to treat blood pressure and cholesterol, as well as pain pills she needed, were withheld. She says her health began to deteriorate. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I'm guessing an advert. At one point when they were interrogating me, just before they took me to a hospital, I looked at the interrogator and said, "This is torture." He literally smiled at me and said, "Yes, it is." That in itself, to my knowledge, a lot of prisons around the world are not good. Even if we factor in Western prisons, some of them are not good in themselves. So I'm not too shocked at her claims, because after all, they are just claims. It was demanding and cruel, she adds. You just want to crawl in a corner and cry, and that's basically what I did. I just cowered in a corner. What especially bothered her was when officials placed a hood over her head, which is true, because I didn't understand why they were doing that when the 2 officers were wearing masks, I guess for medical reasons, but to also hide themselves. You could argue, why wasn't she wearing the bloody mask? The one, I don't know what's happened there, I apologize. The one guy said to me, "This is to protect you," and his next words were, "You're not going to be in here for long." So I do believe that right from the beginning, they knew I was innocent, she says. This is a tree. The first thing she saw after, or on the outside of the courthouse, when she was released suddenly, the first thing you do, take a picture of a tree. Get up, stand at attention. Not something you want to tell your aubergine, I tell you that much.
What the hell are you talking about?
Susanna was then moved to jail, where she spent the remainder of her 9 months in prison, waiting for her case to wind its way through the country's legal system. She says she suffered physically whilst in prison. She was taken to a hospital several times because of the denial of her medication for more than a month, because one doctor there said it was all in my head and I didn't need any medication. This might, again, be unrelated, but even the NHS now, for example, when I go see my GP, there are many occasions and there are many stories as well in Western, hospitals and GP practices, etc., where people the doctors, they don't believe the patient. And it's concerning because you are essentially putting your life in this person's hands. And yeah, medicine needs to come a long way. We need to stop this BS that something might be in someone's head. It might very well be. I think the term is hypochondriac or something, where people believe that they're sick and they're not. That might be a word for something else, so let me know in the comments. But doctors, there's a lot of times where I personally, having been in and out of hospitals, especially during the height of the pandemic for unrelated reasons, there are many times that I believe people in healthcare don't actually give a shit. But that's another story for another day, I guess. When the head madam came by, and every time the madam comes by, you have to stand at attention and be fully garbed in your prison uniform. I was sitting in my underwear and t-shirt. I was sitting on the bed when she stood next to me. She goes, "Get up, stand at attention." I tried to stand up. Susanna explains. She took one look at me and said, "Sit down, get better." And the next thing I know, they had me at the hospital. So I commend, I guess, this head madam for recognizing that Susanna was not well. So I commend that, I guess. She says she was in hospital for over a week, so doctors there could determine what medicine she required, because the doctor in the prison refused to give her any medication, resulting in her hospital stay. Over the next several months, Susanna says she occupied her time with education, learning about the legal system in China, and specifically Hong Kong. Sorry once again to piss on your bonfire, Susanna, but maybe you should have spent more time researching scams and not just saying you did to write the book, which, has the book been published, by the way? I'd love to know. But going back to the prison doctor not giving the medication, for my dissertation, I did do a whole essay, basically. You're looking at like 10k words or whatever, on women's prisons and how, for the most part, I don't think it is the best place to reform and rehabilitate women. If anyone wants to read that, you can't. So, but I agree with Susanna there in that it can be a difficult place, prison, for a woman. I did the university law course for one of the girls in prison because she couldn't read English and she didn't know how to write properly. So she asked me to do the course for her, Susanna says. I wanted to do it only because I wanted to know about their law. So you did someone's work for them as well. So that's interesting. I was so disgusted because whoever is judging the case, if they had a bad day, they could take it out on you and they don't have to explain why you are charged and convicted. Right now, they are still using part of the British rules. However, they are breaking away from it as well. They want to use their own Chinese laws. She adds, Susanna claims no one has ever been released through the lower court where she was stuck because you do not have a voice there. You cannot have a lawyer. You can't even speak for yourself. Only in middle to high court. And I never got to that stage. She adds that most people there are in there. What? She adds that most people that are in there, and I've talked to quite a few people that have been used as mules, didn't have a clue as to what was happening to them. They are in there for 20 years or more because Hong Kong chooses which way they want to go. Susanna says she spoke with several fellow inmates about their situation and described one story of a woman who is serving 20 years in prison. That woman was asked by her boyfriend to bring a book to Hong Kong, and the book contained drugs. Another woman was jailed because she thought Christmas ornaments, or she brought them into the country, which contained drugs. Susanna claims around 10% of the women who were in there were her age, innocent of similar crimes. Living conditions in the prison were subpar as well, she says. The person sleeping next to me was a murderer, and I was in a cell with 15 women. The beds were like plastic coffee tables with a couple blankets, no mattresses, no nothing. She also noted she was only allowed to go outside for a maximum of 10 minutes each day, and sometimes not at all. And it's interesting to note here that I think from the documentary, she was placed in like a middle prison, right? So imagine a high security one, bro. Maybe you're getting 1 minute a day. I don't even know. She is really, really out. Back home in Barrie, Angela said that at the time, police wrote a letter to the court in Hong Kong saying this is what a romance scam is, and included her statements to police in an attempt to make it clear it was a scam. There are some reporters I know in Hong Kong that declined speaking to me, and I was advised against speaking to anyone in the media in Hong Kong, says Angela. I could say anything I wanted to in Ontario, but I couldn't say anything in Hong Kong about her mother's plight. Fast forward to May 2023, on the day of Susanna's unexpected and surprising release from prison, she was told by the head madam she was to appear in court that day, which was a Saturday. Susanna replied that she instead had to be in court the following Monday as previously scheduled. The madam insisted this was not the case, and Susanna was ushered away. My lawyer did not know this, she says. Neither her lawyer, Gerard, nor Father John, a local priest who helped her with her case and well known for assisting foreign nationals, knew she was at the courthouse. Once again, to John, incredible stuff. You're a legend. I was at the court all day, she says. All they kept talking about was the buttons and how many there were. That's when she found out there were 270 buttons with cocaine hidden inside them on all the dresses, which were in her suitcase at the airport. They put her back in a cell again. Here was the picture, of course. Gerard, the lawyer, finally arrived at the courthouse, and he told her he thought the court may release her. He just had a hunch, she says. At around 2:30 in the afternoon, a jail guard unlocked her cell door and took her to where her belongings were at the prison. Maybe they thought they were taking me somewhere else. Susanna, I didn't know what they were doing. They then took her to another room where they gave her back her cell phone that was seized at the airport 9 months prior. My lawyer, Gerard, barged in just as they were handing me the money, and he said, count every cent. So I count the money, she explains. The next thing she was told by officials was she could go out a nearby door. That was the first time I walked out the courthouse through the front door, she says. The only one I ever saw was the back door where they bring the prisoners. When she stepped outside, she says the first thing she saw was a tree, so she took a picture. Meanwhile, Gerard was trying to contact Angela back in Barrie on the phone, but she was asleep. It was 3 a.m. in the city. Angela finally awoke and answered their call. When she found out her mother was finally free, she burst into tears. Gerard sent a picture of himself standing outside the courthouse with her, the one that we saw. This is real, he said. She's really out. Susanna says she was dumbfounded by the events. They just dropped all the charges against me and let me go. I couldn't sleep, says Angela. I was awake when she called at 3 a.m. and couldn't sleep again until the next night. When her mother arrived back in Canada on June the 5th, her first words to her mother were, I can't believe it's you. I can't believe you're home. Looking back on the ordeal, Susanna reflects on the people and organizations that helped make her release happen. I attribute it to W5, she says, because the documentary program, they aired reporting on her case. I attribute it to Father John, to Gerard, the lawyer, and to the Barrie Police Department, the Ontario Provincial Police, and my daughter especially, because she was my go-to person. Every time I had that 10-minute phone call, I said to her, get in touch with so-and-so, do this, do this. Never in a million years. Here's the potato sack on her head. Susanna never thought she would ever fall victim to a con artist. Never in a million years, she says. Not once did it happen, but twice, and by the same guy. So it's confirmed it was the same guy. You know why the guy got me so easy the second time? Because he knew who I was. I guess so. But he was going down a different route. It was a different story. So, I mean, I get it. You are deflecting some blame here, but in the documentary, you did mention that you can't believe you were so foolish, but, here it seems like you're deflecting it a little bit. If you're talking to some guy and you start fooling them online, and all of a sudden they turn around and say, I'm going to give you a present, I'm going to send you on a trip, and I'm going to meet you there, trust me, they'll never meet. She says she had 9 months stuck in a foreign prison to figure it all out. I hated myself so much, she says. People don't realize how hard it is to sit there and look at your life, knowing that you're going to die someplace and never see the people you love again. You can't even put it in words. I think it's important there to look at when she says she had 9 months to figure it all out. And this is why I'm so harsh on these victims, because we shouldn't let them get to this stage, right? You need to intervene. And if you need to be harsh, and if you need to be a bit of a prick in their eyes, do it. Because would you rather be a prick and they learn before it gets worse? Or would you like your loved one or your loved one to end up in a prison because they were smuggling drugs? Which one? Do you know what I mean? She feels that too many people are conned. They're too embarrassed to come out and be, upfront about it because you're labeled and people shun you for it. I understand that part. I mean, people can misconstrue this as me shunning them for it, but I actually do think it's good that they come forward. I just don't like it when there's no accountability being taken for it. I don't care if I get egg on my face, if it's going to help someone realize what is happening out there. So that's good for her. People should not think with their hearts. I've said this many times. Don't make decisions based on emotions. You will be fisted in the arse. The investigation continued well after Susanna arrived back home in Canada. She gave Barrie police her cell phone when she got back. They do have some leads right now that they are working on. Back in Hong Kong, Michael Arthur, a lawyer based who assisted W5 and helped Susanna, but did not officially represent her, continues the effort to try and clarify why she was released from prison. To be honest, I wouldn't even question it, bro. You released me, thank you very much. I hope to never see you again. I have drafted a letter for her to write to the prosecutions in Hong Kong asking for the reasons why the case was dropped. As to his theory about why she was released so suddenly, I'm none the wiser. It's a bit of a mystery, really. It's unheard of by me. It's very unusual, he says. The television program may have had some impact on the decision of the prosecution to drop the case, but maybe not. Maybe it was something else. Let me take a sip of some damn water, because I've never read so much in my life. That's staying in the edit. Drink some water, guys, please, right now. Timestamp, let me know if you drank some water. Have you drank, my love? I think the documentary played a role, I think it garnering, media attention across the world. I think they wanted to somewhat save face and not let it escalate even further, but that's just my opinion. His office sees quite a few similar cases, he says. A week before last, a guy from Texas came in with 4 kilos of cocaine. I've dealt with a lot of these cases. Unwitting drug mules is the problem. I've had a steady stream of people like this with some variation since 2014. Meanwhile, back in Barrie, Susanna hopes police will be able to track down the person who put her in this predicament in the first place. Oh my goodness, and that's it. What is this? Woman vows to prove mum's innocence in Hong Kong smuggling case. When is this? March 13, 2023. So when is the one I just read? October 17th. Shout out Kevin Lam for providing an up-to-date case. Oh my goodness. I took a lock. It definitely took a lock out of me. I need to unlock myself with some food. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this and learned that romance scams go way beyond money, right? You can become a mule, a money mule, but it can also extend to becoming a drug mule. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I knew 100% that was a thing, because I feel like I've learned something in this video. So hopefully you as well. But a lot of you legends are a lot more clued up on scams in general than me. But hopefully you learned something from this. If there's anything to take from this video, aside from don't become a drug mule, and definitely look over any package you receive. Be harsh with your loved ones. even if it does, as I said, make you look like a prick in their eyes. Because I don't want people to go to prison when they are innocent. Now, I'm not saying, 100% she's innocent, because we still didn't see any text messages, but it did mention they just gave it to her on the day. But that doesn't necessarily mean she didn't know she would. Oh, no, because it says unbeknownst to her. So actually, I'm glad she's home. That's the end of it. Now, if I ever come across an update, even, recent, even more recent, I'll give it a read. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I don't know how long it is. Thank you to Mildred and Channel 3 for the suggestion. And if you're seeing this, great, because that means it's not blocked. But if you're not seeing this, I think I've wasted 2 hours of my life. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And I'll see you next time. Bye. I always forget to plug videos, bro. If you want to see the romance scam stuff, a lot of them, they'll be in a playlist up there. If you want to see something else scam related, I'll chuck it down here. Now we'll do it. Bye. Just remember, no one from the military is going to help you write a book.